So come to your mat, and we're going to start today in child's pose. So you have a couple options with child's pose. You can have your knees together and reaching forward, or you can separate your knees out nice and wide and reach forward. So we're just going to begin down here on our mat, either resting our chin or our forehead towards the floor. Just trying to release any tension in our upper back and just get very comfortable as possible in this position. And we're going to start to just tune in before we begin to focus on our breath. Start to lengthen your inhale and your exhale. Full, long, and soothing deep breaths here. Feeling the air as it comes in and expands our ribs, fills our body. And as it's slowly released, feel your muscles relax. Let's take 2 more deep breaths just like that before we get started. We're down here in child's pose, reaching forward. Alright, in our first movement of the day. So we're going to stay in child's pose, but we're going to reach our left hand out to the left, and our right hand reaches on top of the left hand. So we're reaching and stretching over to the to the left with just our arms. Trying to stay as low to the ground as possible, really feeling that stretch in this right side body. You can go as far as you'd like, as far as is comfortable. 1 more breath here, and then let's bring the arms back to center, and then we'll do the same thing, reaching over to the right. So both arms reach to the right. Staying in child's pose nice and low. Feel that side body stretch on the left this time. Breathing into this space. Try and release and drop your head and neck. And then on your next exhale, we'll reach the arms back to center, and we're going to come up to tabletop position. So tabletop, we're on all fours. Our shoulders are directly over our wrists, our hips are over our knees. Let's take our right arm and we're going to reach our right arm up to the sky. Really opening our chest here and feeling our shoulder blades pulling together behind us. Stay right here, or you have the option to take a half bind if you'd like to lower that top arm and reach it back behind you. That's simply an option if your shoulders aren't feeling that today. Stay reaching towards the sky. On our next exhale, let's take this top hand and we're going to thread the needle. So we're going to bring our right hand down and towards the ground and through our left hand, reaching over to the left. We can lower our head towards the ground if that feels comfortable. And feeling a stretch on the outer portion of our right shoulder or maybe our side body here. And then coming back up to tabletop. Do the same thing on the left. So this time we reach and stretch our left arm up to the sky. Opening the chest here, pulling the shoulder blades back behind us. Maybe you look straight ahead, or maybe you try and look up at that top hand. Make it a really big stretch. You can stay right here, or maybe you take that optional bind, reaching our top hand behind us, hooking it around our torso. And then on our next exhale, let's thread the needle. We're bringing our left arm down, reaching our left shoulder towards the earth, extending it through the right arm, and then dropping and reaching our head towards the floor. We're just going to stay here for 1 more breath. And then coming back to tabletop. Take a nice deep breath right here. We're going to take cat and cow poses. So cat and cow poses, I'll turn to the side. Beginning with cow, we're going to drop our belly, open our chest, and try and look up to the sky. Getting a nice stretch in our spine. And then cow pose, we're going to drop our hips, roll our spine towards the ceiling, and drop our head to the floor. So take those 2 movements, breathing in and just looking up, Exhaling, looking down at your own pace. So taking as fast or as slow as you'd like, as fast or as slow as it feels good to warm up the spine this morning. Make this movement as big or as small as you'd like. Maybe 2 more here. And when you're ready, let's find stillness in the center. We're going to find downward facing dog. So plant your heels into the ground, and you're going to reach and stretch your hips up to the sky, dropping your torso, pushing through the hands. I'll turn to the side again if you need me to see. You can have a nice generous bend in your knees here as you're reaching your hips up to the sky. Press through the hands, press through the shoulder blades, and then see if you can release and drop the neck a little bit. And then you can pedal out your feet, bending one knee at a time, starting to just wake up and warm up the hamstrings here. And then let's find stillness for a few breaths. Reaching the heels towards the ground, but it's okay if they don't reach the floor. And then on your next inhale, let's just walk our feet towards our hands, walking up to the top of our mat. When you get to the top, just slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time. Your head and neck can be the last thing to come up. Take a deep breath here, standing at the top of our mat. And then let's breathe our arms up to the sky, stretching, reaching overhead. Nice full body stretch here. And then on our exhale, let's bring our hands together and in front of us, heart center. Great job. All right, still standing at the top of our mat. Let's take our arms by our sides one more time. We're gonna breathe them up to the sky, and then we're gonna take sundial pose. So for sundial, our legs can be together, maybe hip width distance, or for a little bit more stability, if you'd like to separate them more, you have that option. We're gonna take our right wrist and grab it with our left hand, and then we're gonna reach over towards the left. So we're pulling our right arm to the left. Have a nice little bend in your knee to protect your knees if you need. And then just breathe into that side body stretch. One more full breath here. Stay for the exhale. And then come back up to center. Drop the arms, lower them down, roll out the shoulders if you need. We'll take the same thing on the other side, breathing, stretching up overhead. This time we take our left wrist and grab it with our right hand. Stretch and reach up before we reach over to the right side. You can have a little bit of a bend in your knee for stability if you'd like. Try not to release your torso forward. We're trying to have a nice open chest here, like our back is against a wall. One more breath here. And then release, coming back up through center, drop the arms, roll out the shoulders. Nice job. All right, at the top of our mat, let's breathe and inhale, stretching, reaching up overhead. And then on our exhale, we're gonna dive forward, forward fold. We're reaching towards the ground here. You can bend your knees if need be. And then we're gonna step back into a plank position, top of a push-up. From here, let's just press our hips up to the sky, finding downward facing dog once more. Really pushing through the feet and hands. Lengthening our spine, head reaching towards the floor, hips reaching towards the sky. And then on our next inhale, let's take our right leg. Option to lift it up to the sky, and then ultimately we're gonna step it through the hands. So you can be in a high lunge here, or you can drop that back knee toward the earth. So our right leg is forward, our left leg is back. Our back knee can be on the floor or off the floor, whatever you're more comfortable with today. Wherever we are, both of our hips are facing forward. Our right knee is going directly over our toes. All right. So in this position, let's breathe our arms up overhead. Reaching our arms up, but releasing our shoulders away from our ears. Let's bring our palms to touch at the top. And then option, you can inhale and do a little bit of a back bend here, really squeezing our legs together for stability. Not too much of a back bend, just a little one. And then exhale, let's bring our hands to heart center. Inhale, let's turn to the right. We're twisting in this position. You can stay right here, or if you'd like to drop the left elbow towards the right knee, you have that option. So here's what it looks like from the side. We're in our lunge, maybe we're twisting, or maybe we're reaching the left elbow towards the right knee. Find your space. Remember to breathe. Squeezing those legs in nice towards each other. Hold for one more inhale, and then on your exhale, unwind, coming back to center. You can release the arms. If your knee was up, let's all drop our knees to the floor. Right leg forward, left leg back, and our left knee's on the ground. And then we're gonna do half split here. So try and straighten that front leg, and you might need to adjust, bring your leg in front of you a little bit more or behind you, depending on your positioning. But we're extending our right leg forward and our left leg is bent. We're reaching our hips towards the ground and we're reaching our arms down towards the floor. We can have a length in our spine here, trying to have a flat back. And we're just feeling that stretch in our right hamstring, maybe our right hips. Taking a moment here to just breathe into any space that might feel uncomfortable. And then bend that leg again. We're gonna find tabletop position, all fours. And from here, we're just gonna push back into downward facing dog. Hips come high to the sky. Pedal out the feet. Reset those hips. Stretch out those hamstrings. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, all right? Inhale, you can breathe your left leg up to the sky. And then step it forward. Left leg is coming between the hands. We can do our high lunge right here with our back knee up, or you can drop that back knee to the floor. So our left leg is forward, right leg is back. Both of our hips are squared forward. Let's breathe our hands up into the air with our lunge. You have the option to bring our palms together and maybe add a little bit of a back bend here. Exhale, coming back to center, lower the arms, prayer position in front of us. Squeeze the legs together and we're twisting to the left. You can stay right here in your twist, or option to drop that right elbow towards that left knee. A deep twist here. Wherever you are, we're simply breathing. Stay for one more inhale, finish your exhale, and then we'll come back, unwind, back to center, and we'll take our half split on this side as well. So we're straightening out the front leg, and then we're reaching both hips down towards the ground, our arms reach towards the ground, our torso reaches towards the ground. We can have a nice flex in this front leg. That's definitely going to intensify the stretch, so find the space for you. You don't even have to go that low. If you'd like to stay up nice and high on your hands on your hips, you can do that as well. Let's breathe into this space. And then we'll complete this pose, coming to tabletop position. And then stretch and reach our hips up nice and high. We'll find downward facing dog. And maybe pedal out the feet. And then when you're ready, we're just going to walk to the top of our mat, walking our feet towards our hands. Once you get to the top of the mat, slowly rolling up, one vertebrae at a time. Head is the last thing to come up. Let's reset our breath here at the top of our mat. Inhale, breathing, stretching, reaching up to the sky. Exhale, bring our hands to heart center in front of us. Excellent. All right. Options here, we're going to take our legs wider than our mat and face forward, or if you would like to face the wide part of your mat, you have that option as well. I'm just going to do this so I can still face forward for the camera. So wherever you want to face forward or face side, that's up to you. But let's find some nice wide legs. The wider your legs are, the more challenging it's going to be. The more narrow they are, the more accessible it'll be, so find your space. Our toes are going to be facing out. And let's take our hands and breathe them up to the sky. We're going to find star pose. Our hands can come to touch at the top, reaching, stretching up nice and high. And then exhale, release the arms down. Let's bring our toes to face forward and a little bit pigeon-toed if you'd like. And then we're going to reach towards the ground. We're going to do a wide-legged forward fold. So we're reaching towards the floor. If we don't touch it, that's okay, just reaching towards the ground. But wherever you are, try and drop your head and neck. You can have a little bend in your knee to protect the knee and hamstring. And just take one more breath here. And then we're going to slowly roll up. This time, let's check down with our feet. We're going to open up the right foot towards the side, opening our right hip, and then we're going to keep our left toes facing forward. So if you can see my arms, these are the way that my toes are facing. Reaching and stretching our arms out nice and wide, we're going to take a triangle pose. So reaching towards the sides, we're going to reach over towards our right leg, reaching as far as we can until we stop. And then lower that right arm down and raise the right arm up to the sky. Triangle pose. We're really trying to open our chest here, pull the shoulder blades together, reaching towards the ground. You can have your lower hand resting on your shin, maybe on your foot. Wherever you are, just don't press any weight on your knee. You can look straight ahead, or maybe you look up at that top hand, hold for one more breath. And then inhale, coming back up. Let's flip both toes to face the front. Take star pose, inhale, stretching, reaching up. Resetting the breath on our inhale. Exhale, coming down to heart center. Excellent job. Let's flip the left toes this time. Left toes open up to the side, right toes face forward, and we'll take triangle on the other side. Stretch and reach both arms out nice and wide, and then we're going to reach over the left leg, reaching over to the side until you can't reach anymore, and then drop that left arm down and raise the right arm up. Open the chest, pull the shoulder blades back behind you. Really root through those feet, pull up through the kneecaps. Take one more breath here. Stay for the exhale. And then come back up. Bring your torso up. Bring both legs back underneath you, walking our legs into hip width distance. Stretch out the hips if you need. Make any, maybe shake out the legs a little. And then we're going to take a seat on our mat. All right, how we doing out there? Hopefully we feeling pretty warmed up and loose. We're going to do our final cool down poses. So you can lay back on your mat, and we're going to come just squeezing in all of our limbs, make a little ball, bringing our legs in towards our torso, and our hands can be hugging our legs and shins in close to the body. You can release and relax your head and neck towards the ground, trying to have length in our spine here. Try and have a flat back. And then let's bring both of our feet to the floor with both of our legs bent. We're going to take modified pigeon pose, lying down. So what that is we're going to take our right leg and we're going to cross it over the left leg, trying to make a right angle with our right leg. And then you can stay right here, or if you'd like to make it a little bit more challenging, lift up the left leg and you can hug that in close to your body. The closer you pull it in, the deeper stretch it'll be on your right hip. If that's too much, you can always place that leg back down on the floor and just stretch your right hip that way. I'll turn to the side if you need to see me that way, but we're on our back, right leg is on top, and we're just pulling that leg in as close as we'd like. You can gently close your eyes here. We're going to stay for 4 deep breaths. Alright, finish out your last breath. If your left leg was up in the sky, let's lower both legs down, both feet on the mat, both legs bent, and we'll do the same thing on the left. This time bring our left leg, crossing it over the right leg at a 90-degree angle. We can leave our right leg on the floor, or if you'd like, you can lift that right leg up and start to deepen the stretch as needed. Feeling that deep stretch on the left hip, breathing into any space that is tight today. You can gently close your eyes if you'd like, and we're going to hold for 4 full breaths. Alright, you can finish out that breath. Let's lower the right leg if it was up in the air. We'll bring both of our legs back to the earth. And then give yourself a nice hug again, bringing both of our legs in, squeezing them in towards our body. Maybe your hands come on top and make a little ball. Let's extend both of our arms out nice and wide, like a T. And then we're going to bring our hips all the way over to the left, reaching them towards the ground. Both of our arms are out long. Our head can be looking straight up to the sky, or if you'd like, you can look over that right shoulder. Finish the twist. Breathing back into center. We'll do the same thing on the right. This time our legs go to the right, and maybe your head looks over to the left. Breathing back into center. Make any final movements that you'd like, and then we're going to find Shavasana pose. Our legs are extended long in front of us. Our arms are long on the ground and resting with our palms facing up to the sky. And then you can gently close your eyes here as we begin Shavasana. Trying to release and relax every muscle of our body and be as still as possible. We'll tune back into our breath. Noticing it as it comes in and out of the body, starting to cool the body. And then just do a mental scan, starting at the top of your head, working your way down towards the feet, checking in with every muscle, ensuring that it's released and relaxed. your breath has become shallow, start to deepen that breath. You can start to bring movement back to your fingers and toes. Maybe stretch and reach your arms up overhead for a nice full body stretch. Waking up for the second time today. Roll over to one side. Nice and slow. And you can gently come up, taking your time. You can keep your eyes closed or just soften your gaze to the floor. But wherever we are, let's take our hands by our side. Raise them up to the sky gently one last time. And then on our exhale, bring our hands to heart center. Namaste.